So one of the stories I always love to tell is the story of my first digital product and how I made my first sale, honestly. And so oftentimes, I think sometimes we think we have to hit the ball right out of the park the first time around. You know, everybody wants to know how to make 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures. But I like telling this story because it really helps, I think, contextualize how small beginnings can turn into major wins. And so in my particular case, I mentioned I was working full time and still, just building my business in the evening. I would come home at 7:00 p.m. and from 7 p.m. to 12 o'clock, 1 a.m. in the morning, that was my prime time because I was working all throughout the day. And so one particular Friday evening, I said, you know what, I started Black Speakers Network. We had, created a community, but I really hadn't monetized it. I really didn't have a way of, creating income. And so I decided I'm going to create a digital product. And so my very first digital product, and again, don't let perfection stand in the way of progress. I said, I'm just going to start. And I had to learn all this stuff along the way. I had to figure out, how to create it. I had to figure out what I was going to price it as. I had to figure out, what software I was going to use to actually deliver it. And I came home 7:00 p.m., sat at my computer, and 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. By 11 o'clock that evening, I created my first digital product. It was a spreadsheet called 51 Online Resources to Find and Book Speaking Engagements. And I said, you know what? I'm going to test this and I'm going to make it a $5 product. And I said, if I can't make $5, maybe I don't need to be an entrepreneur at all. And so I went ahead, put together a little sales copy, put it into an email, scheduled it to go out at 8 a.m. that morning. Now, this was a Friday evening, and so the likelihood that a lot of people are going to be checking their email Saturday at 8 o'clock probably isn't that high. And again, these are all things you learned along the way, but not letting perfection stand in the way of progress, I went ahead and I shot it out. And guess what? 8:05 a.m. Email went out at 8 o'clock. At 8:05 a.m., had my first sale. $5 digital product. By 8:10, I had 3 sales. By 8:15, I had 10 sales. And now, again, $5 digital product. So, I wasn't setting the world on fire. Probably wasn't even enough money to pay my rent. But I learned a very important lesson. I had just taken something that was in my head literally less than 10 hours ago. And now that idea had translated into actual revenue in my bank account. And so what I realized is that if anyone is struggling with where to start, particularly in this era now, we are in such an incredible time where we have the tools and the resources to be able to create any type of business that we want right there in front of us on our laptop using the internet. But you have to start somewhere. My first product sucked. It was a $5 digital product, and now I've been able to turn that into a business.